Winter is the season of the inner arts. As the world around us dies and all of the energy goes back down into the roots of our planet, we're really invited to turn our focus to our inner landscapes and start to cultivate the richness of our inner world. For this reason, I love to work with stones in the wintertime. Most of the flora around my home has died back by this time, and so I really like to focus at least part of my practice on working with the mineral realm. So in this video, I want to share with you 3 stones for connecting into the inner worlds. The first stone is Azurite. Azurite is a deep royal blue stone and one that has been prized throughout many cultures in the world. This stone was used as an eye pigment in ancient Egypt, and it was also used in medieval Europe for paint. If you look at a lot of old European paintings, you're actually going to find that the deep blue that they were using was Azurite. Azurite is often found in combination with malachite. And Azurite has historically been seen as a stone that helps us connect into the deep realms of intuition and psychic insight. This is my favorite stone for exploring past lives, deepening my meditation state, and connecting into my wider self. The best way to use Azurite is to place it right on your third eye, right in the center of your forehead, and then just take a lay down and invite yourself to go on a wintertime journey. Let this piece of Azurite bring you into your inner world and see what's there. The second stone for connecting into the inner worlds are phantom quartz. So phantom quartz are quartz, most often clear quartz, that have what you would see as phantoms inside of them. So this can look like shapes, sometimes it'll be different colors, and what these phantoms are actually moments in the crystal's life where the crystal was growing and then its growth was interrupted before it continued to be able to grow. So those phantoms are actually growths of other crystals inside of that crystal, which is pretty cool and magnificent. You're going to know you have a phantom quartz if you hold it up to the light and you're going to see little ghosts inside of the quartz. It's going to be pretty obvious. Quartz in general is a wonderful stone for attunement and clarification. Clear quartz has been used across the world for really focusing and honing energy. So clear quartz can really help us to focus and hone in on our wintertime intuition practices. Phantom quartz in particular helps us to see and interact with these unseen aspects of reality. So it's this idea of going back to perhaps times in your life in which your growth has been interrupted, perhaps even interacting with what are the ghosts in your life. This is important work to do in the winter time. Phantom quartz helps us to see what was unseen before. They're really good at opening up an understanding of holographic thinking, being able to see the entirety of the world or the macro in the micro, and also understanding this idea that our lives are dreams, this idea that we are conscious creators in our lives. You can learn more about holographic theory and holographic thinking in Michael Talbot's book, The Holographic Universe. I recommend it highly. Lastly, phantom quartz helps us become aware of our projections. We all have projections in our life. Perhaps the projection of an expectation of how we expect someone to interact with us, or a projection on how a certain event is going to turn out in our life. It's important to examine these projections and see whether or not what we're experiencing is the reality or just our projection. The third stone is Mochi Marbles or shaman stone. Shaman stones are formed on the north rim of the Grand Canyon, and they are formed from sandstone that has concretized and come together into like a big hand-sized marble. As water moves through over time, the outer layer of the sandstone is stripped off to reveal what is called an iron oxide or hematite outer crust. So this hematite outer crust sort of forms it into what looks like really a large ball or a marble. The name Mochi comes from the Hopi, and it means the dear departed, because one of the stories about this stone is that the Hopi believed that their ancestors would be playing with the stones overnight as marbles and sort of leaving evidence for their loved ones that they're still here and still present. Shaman stones are one of my favorite for undertaking shamanic journeys, for doing this kind of meditative work where I allow myself to go on a rich inner visual journey. I also find them to be particularly helpful to ground me before I begin my meditation practice. Shaman stones feel very nice in the palm of your hand, and the addition of the hematite really helps bring us down rooted into this earth. Hematite is what makes up the core of our earth. It is literally the bedrock of our planet. You can kind of consider it the mother of all stones. So I love holding on to a shaman stone because it helps me ground out again, and especially when I've had a really stressful or overwhelming day. Sometimes I find I can't really drop into meditation until I ground, until I really bring myself into presence. So shaman stones have this amazing ability to both bring you into presence here in the moment and then have you feel grounded and safe enough that you can let yourself travel. So you can find these 3 stones in any stone store, and I recommend taking yourself on a nice trip at some point this winter to your favorite crystal store and just seeing which stones call out to you. Stones are incredible gateways to this path of the inner arts, inner divination, and inner cultivation. So give this stone practice a try this winter and enjoy your travels. So if you like this video, share it with other friends who are into stones or those who are interested in cultivating their inner arts this winter time. Share a comment below and let me know what stones you end up working with and how it goes for you.